everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Will the Dragon Whisperer with another video for you reptile enthusiasts out there. In this video, I'm going to be doing a new tour of the reptile room. This is going to be an update from the last video. I've added quite a few more species to the room and adopted a few more animals, and I really want to show them off to you guys. Super big thanks go out in this video to Clint's Reptiles. Clint is a rock star, stinking rad guy. If you don't know Clint, you'll know what I mean when I say stinking rad. Please check out his channel, Clint's Reptiles. He is an amazing guy, and not just a wealth of reptile information, but a really cool, awesome individual as well. So check out Clint's Reptiles if you haven't already. And all of you guys that have came over from Clint's Reptiles, new subscribers and supporters, thank you guys so much. Clint gave me a huge shout out on his last live stream. If you guys haven't checked it out already, it's under his channel. And about the 18-19 minute mark, he talks about me and what I'm trying to do here in my reptile room. Currently, I am trying to start a reptile rescue here in my area, and I'm going to be posting more videos about that in the future. And we will have animals to rehome out of the rescue coming up down the road. So I hope you guys stay tuned in the video. At the end, we're going to be doing our super big, awesome first giveaway for the channel. Ricky T, who was one of my first subscribers, awesome guy. He is the one who adopted out to be Ninja, the dragon who is paralyzed that I've been currently working with. And I really wanted to help that guy out, so he's super big into a certain animal, and we're going to be doing a surprise giveaway for Ricky T. He's coming by later to check out the reptile room, and we're going to be giving this animal to him. So super excited about the first giveaway we're going to do on the channel. So stay tuned, you guys. Going to be doing a brief little run around the room and showing you each enclosure and each species and animal, talking briefly about them, but not going to go into any care or those type of specifics in this video, but I have plenty of those videos on the channel if you'd like to check those out. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash that like button when you get through watching it. Ring that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, big thank you to Clint's Reptiles and all you guys that came over from his channel to subscribe and support me. Here we go, guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. Let's go. Okay, guys, this is one of the new additions to the reptile room. This is Dolce, and she is a 2-year-old. She just heard her name. She is a 2-year-old Zero female bearded dragon, and she will be getting rehomed very soon to a lucky individual. But she is an amazing dragon, very alert, very aware of her surroundings, great personality, very docile. As you'll see, she is patternless because she's a Zero, but she has that beautiful soft gray, almost white to some of her features, and she is just an amazing, beautiful dragon. Say hey, Dolce. And this is her enclosure, and this will be vacated by her very soon, and we'll be getting another dragon to take over this home. Okay, this is another addition to the reptile room since I did my last reptile tour, and I just wanted to show you briefly the outside of the enclosure. I made this out of an old storage cabinet, and you can see it in my water dragon care video, but I've done a lot of upgrades to the enclosure since then. This is Hanzo, a very beautiful female, I do believe at this point, Chinese water dragon. She's incredible. She came in from a not very good situation. She had a lot of damage to her nose and her face, maybe even some permanent damage to the set of her jaw there because she was kept in a glass tank, which, as you'll see in my water dragon care video, is a big no-no. But I also, since the care video, I added this little basking type shelf in here for her and a ladder for her to climb on, and I lined that with some natural wood that I baked and put some substrate in there for her. And she also has a 5-gallon water tank with a filter system and a heater and everything in there because she gets in that water a lot. It gets dirty, but I'm probably going to be changing that out soon because the filter seems to always get clogged up with the dirt that she tracks in and out of her swimming pond there. So, but this is the Chinese water dragon, Hanzo, and her enclosure. Say hey, Hanzo. Okay, guys, this is another little enclosure that I threw together since my last reptile room tour, and this is a Thrive misting system that I just got and added to this enclosure, which I highly recommend. Very good system, works awesome, comes on, you can set the intervals and the time in between. But this is Gandalf, my panther chameleon, which, as you guys will see, is extremely sociable, is extremely low stress. He's in this room with over 25 plus other reptiles that he can see with his two completely movable eyeballs separate from each other. And Gandalf really does not mind being handled. Gandalf, as you see as I open the door, he came this way. And Gandalf really does not get stressed very easy. He has about the most incredible temperament that you could ever hope to have in a panther chameleon. Oh, he decides he wants to explore outside of his cage today. But I take Gandalf out quite frequently, and like I said, he can see a lot of the other animals in the room, and Gandalf is very socialized, and he has the most awesome personality that you could hope to have for in a panther chameleon. Eats great, and really enjoys his enclosure. Say hey, Gandalf. Look at those colors, guys. He is such an amazing creature. I did just want to show you guys briefly what it was like when his misting system comes on, and it's pretty cool. Comes on by itself with the timers and sprays a pretty good mist, and they're directional nozzles that I can point pretty much anywhere I want inside the enclosure. And I've got some little catch pans in the bottom to help with the water. Okay, you guys, this is my 5-year-old female leatherback hypomelanistic blue bar, 5-year-old female Clementine, and she has an amazing, beautiful red beard, and she knows I'm talking about her, giving me that side eye. She is an amazing dragon. She's my only dragon that has a weird interaction when I take her out in the UVB light, real sunlight. She always acts crazy, pancakes, flares up, opens her mouth and wants to bite my face off. But inside the reptile room and inside of her tank, she is a baby doll. I interact with her all the time, never aggressive except when she's outside in the real UVB light, and for some reason she wants to lick her cactus right now. But this is her enclosure, and that is Miss Clementine. Now this little beautiful girl is Khaleesi, and you guys please excuse my cord game. I know it's not tight right now, but I move animals around a lot, light fixtures around a lot. I'm always checking heat and adjusting things. Bulbs go out, so I move cords and fixtures around way too much to have everything zip tied in and all nice and neat. So once again, please excuse the cord game. But this is my little sweetheart Khaleesi. She is a female. She is I believe she's going to be a blue bar as well. She's starting to form them. She's giving me that side eye now. This girl has an amazing personality. She's probably my most active of all of my dragons. She is super alert. She's already got out of her tank twice. She'll climb up her backdrop, and I don't have a screen on my tank so that they get maximum UVB, and she climbed right up on the top and jumped right out of her cage. So I may have to put the top back on her cage soon, or figure out some way to keep her from getting up there. Maybe take the backdrop out there. But this is Khaleesi. Super awesome personality. She is wide open, and her feeding response is off the charts. And she's growing like a weed. And this is her enclosure for the queen, Khaleesi. Okay, guys, this is a beast right here. He is growing like a weed. He is only about 8 months old, but he is already going to be massive. This is Apollo, who started out his life as Arya. I thought it was a female, but it is definitely a male, and he is an amazing little guy. This was my very first bearded dragon, and he is growing like a weed, and this is his enclosure. This gorgeous specimen here is who I affectionately refer to as Big Mama, but her name is Clarabelle. She was the second dragon I ever rescued, and she is an amazing leatherback female bearded dragon, 2 years old, and she is one of my favorites. She has such an amazing personality. She loves to be held, loves to sit on the couch and watch TV. A little chunky right now, but that's why we call her Big Mama. And this is Clarabelle's enclosure, and as you can see, she's basking happily there in her basking spot. And for anyone who's seen any of my earlier videos that include any of my dragons, you'll know that even though I try not to have favorites, this guy right now, and he always really has been since I got him, is pretty much my favorite, other than Apollo, who was my first dragon. But this is Ramses. He is an amazing male bearded dragon. He just turned 1 year old in September. Blue bar. You can't really see his blue bars right now because he's going into shed. They're a little dark looking, but he is an amazing citrus blue bar. He is not a leatherback. He's a normal bearded dragon, and he'll usually give me a little kiss Yeah, there we go. But this guy's an amazing, loves to be handled. He goes to PetSmart with me, to Lowe's, Home Depot all the time. He's a rock star. Half the people in my town know Ramses better than they know me, and they look forward to seeing me come in the door, and they always hope I'm bringing Ramses with me. So, but that's Ramses, and that is his enclosure. And this gorgeous little thing is Chaos. Don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, but definitely comes by its name, honestly, because as you can see right here, this little female is very aggressive. I'm having a little bit of difficulty taming her down. I've got a video on my channel called Chaos, the Meanest Baby Bearded Dragon, because as you guys will see here, she is super, super aggressive. And yep, there she goes, right. And luckily at this age, her bites don't hurt, but I'm trying to tame her down and teach her that that's not going to get her anywhere, and that I'm not going to back down from her bites, and I'm not afraid of them. So usually after a few tries, she'll stop, and she'll let me pet her. But she is going into shed right now, so she's a little bit skittish, doesn't want to be touched, as you can see right there on her tail. But she is a Wit Blitz leatherback hypo bearded dragon. She is going to be an amazing dragon when she grows up. This is actually one of my personal pets. She is not adoption or rescue. I bought her at a reptile expo from Gecko Junkies. They're an amazing group of guys. If you guys get to a show, please check them out. I can say nothing but good things about them. And she has been an amazing little baby since I've had her. About a month now. She's growing like a weed. Excellent feeding response. So this is Chaos, my Wit Blitz baby bearded dragon. And this is her enclosure. Okay guys, this is Pyro. This is my Egyptian, or it could be Saharan Eurymastix. I haven't quite figured that out. I adopted him a couple months back, and I work with this guy on a daily basis. Or girl, I'm so sorry, Pyro, because I have sexed it, and I do believe it's a female. But she has continued to be skittish. I work with her on a daily basis, but she continues to not really like to be handled, and she spends most of her time running into that cave when she sees anybody come near her tank. But she is an amazingly beautiful animal, but right now having really a lot of difficulty taming this one down. Not any kind of aggression at all, but that's usually her response when anybody comes near her tank, and she'll burrow down in there. That tail is super amazing, very prehistoric. But this is her enclosure. She has a really hot side over here with the rocks, and then a nice little cool area over here. And that is Pyro, my Egyptian or possibly Saharan Eurymastix. Okay guys, this is Groot, my black and white Argentine Tegu, and he is an amazing animal, as you guys can see, and she will get about 3 feet long. I thought she was a male at first, but after figuring out how to sex these guys, it turns out that Groot is a female, so that could possibly be a name change in the works. But Groot is an amazing specimen, black and white Argentine Tegu, and this is Groot's setup, which obviously will be upgrading in the future when she gets a lot bigger. And anyone who's been with the channel from the beginning know this superstar. This is Boss Hog, my Tiger Oscar, who I've had from the very beginning, my very first pet actually, and this is Boss Hog's 55-gallon amazing setup that I somehow managed to keep amazingly clear, and Boss Hog is a super happy, healthy fish. Had some trouble a few months back, but he recovered excellent. I figured out what the problems were, got those cleared up, and Boss Hog is a beast. One of the most impressive feeding response I've ever seen from a fish. Say hey, Boss Hog. And once again, please excuse the reflection, but this is the home of Cinder, my big Asian forest scorpion, or Heterometris longimanus. And please excuse my Game of Thrones Monopoly edition in the back as well. But this is Cinder's enclosure, my Asian forest scorpion, and I'm going to include some amazing footage of Cinder and his chelicerae going crazy on a cricket that he was fed earlier today. Look at that. Cricket is still alive as he goes into the jaws of death. Yes, those chelicerae, look, they're just grinding and chewing Look, they're still going even though the cricket's not even there. Like, it's like a freaking organic machine. Right into the head of the cricket, just chewing him up like a wood chipper. Poor little cricket. But this scorpion has not eaten in about a month, maybe 6 weeks, so this is really good. And see, once he has them firmly grasped in his chelicerae there, which are those two really small pinchers right there at his mouth, you know, he can almost let go with his other pedipalps. But those chelicerae are incredible. What an adaptation. And what a fierce way to eat something. There they go again. Just like little bitty claws right there in front of his mouth. And that's pretty amazing. Now, excuse the reflection on the glass, please, folks, but this is the enclosure for Shadow, my emperor scorpion, and I'm fairly certain that Shadow right now is hiding underneath his water dish. But I'm going to include some footage in the video of Shadow eating a cricket earlier today, so you guys can see what Shadow looks like. And we have given a cricket to my emperor scorpion, and as you can see, he already has, before I could get the camera on, he has already inserted the cricket. He's already grabbed it, seized it, and inserted it into his chelicerae there in the front of his mouth. Now, this is a different species than the other scorpion. That was an Asian forest scorpion. This is an emperor scorpion. You can see the pattern and the scroll work kind of on the pedipalps there, that kind of texture that they have on their front claws. He's like, hey, get away from me, buddy, I'm trying to eat my dinner. And see, as you'll see, his stinger is still white. That will turn a red as he becomes an adult. So he's definitely still a subadult. And these guys can get the biggest of any other scorpion species. They can get up to 8-9 inches long. This guy's maybe 2.5 inches long. So he's there you can see a little bit of a perspective, but he's a fairly small scorpion. But this is actually the first time I've been able to get him to eat in the last 5 or 6 weeks as well. He's been hiding. It's funny, he has multiple hides here inside, and that's his water dish sitting on top of his rock. But he has multiple hides inside of his enclosure, and he's actually dug himself another little burrow here, as you can see underneath this moss patch. But for whatever reason lately, he loves to hide underneath his water bowl. That corner is where his water bowl sits, and despite all of his other nice hides, he likes under his water bowl lately. But as you'll see, he is definitely, I think he's trying to find a spot. It's funny, the Asian scorpion will eat right on the open. The emperor scorpion, for whatever reason, I don't know if all of them are like this because I only have the one, but he tends to want to get his food and then go and find some place to hide and eat. He doesn't typically like to eat out in the open. But that's what I think he's doing right now, is looking for, he knows I'm here in his enclosure, and he's pretty defensive. They say that these guys have a lot easier temperament than the Asian forest scorpion, but my particular experience is that my emperor scorpion is a lot more defensive and skittish, and my Asian forest scorpion is way more docile and calm. But the Asian forest scorpion is full grown and possibly a little older than I think, and the emperor scorpion here is definitely a juvenile. So I think that may be the reason why he's a little more feisty and defensive. And see, I think he was looking for his little normal hiding place because I had moved it, and he wants to get back underneath that water dish to enjoy his meal. But it looks like he may decide to go into his alternate. That's his second favorite hide, is under this little rock ledge. Alright, you guys, this is the Dragon Whisperer, and I just wanted to introduce you guys to Ricky T here. He's one of my first subscribers, one of my biggest fans. This guy's so awesome. He helped me get Ninja into the reptile room here, and as my first giveaway for the channel, I am giving Ricky this Asian forest scorpion. It's pretty substantial size, but it's already hidden there underneath his hide, so hope Ricky enjoys it, gives it a great home like I know he will, and hope you guys stay tuned to the channel. We'll be doing more giveaways in the future. Thanks, you guys. All right, you guys, here's Ricky handling his new Asian forest scorpion. And there is his Ninja, his former little girl, on his shoulder. And as you guys can see, this is an incredible animal, very docile. And her or him and Ricky are already becoming fast friends. And these two amazing girls, which Chi-Chi has some Timothy hay there on her face, but this is Chi-Chi and Coco. That is Chi-Chi on the right and Coco there with the hay on her face, and they're enjoying some chopped up coleslaw right now. Yeah, Coco, I'm talking about you. But these are my two rescue female guinea pigs, and they're chubby little spoiled girls. They have two hay bins that always has the best oxbow Timothy hay in there. They have a pellet feeder that stays full of pellets. These girls have a spoiled life. I got them a big rabbit enclosure with a fence in yard for them that I keep a tarp under and some plastic and then a blanket just to protect my flooring. But these two girls are pretty spoiled. They have lots of chew sticks and various things for them to interact with, and that is their enclosure for Chi-Chi and Coco. Now, anybody who has seen any of my latest videos, this is one of my special needs dragons that I recently adopted here at the rescue that I'm trying to start. And she is a beautiful hypomelanistic leatherback. She is a blue bar. She's going into shed right now, but due to severe metabolic bone disease, this poor girl has a severe kink in her back that has caused spinal cord damage. She's been to the vet and she's been checked out with x-rays, ultrasounds, everything inside internally is perfectly fine, but she is going to be paralyzed pretty much from the waist down, and she has some difficulty going to the bathroom because she has a lot of paralysis and loss of muscle feel and movement in the area of her body. So we have to help this little girl go to the bathroom, and we have to assist feed her every now and then, but usually her appetite's great. She drags herself around her enclosure with those front legs. She loves to be interacted with and held. She will not let go of your finger when you try to put her down. She is really strong, and I think this girl is going to have an amazing life here, and we're going to continue to make sure that she thrives. But this is Ninja, and this is one of the reasons why I really need you guys to support the channel. Help me out here. All of Ninja's special needs and her vet bills come out of my pocket, so hopefully one day the rescue will be able to help with that, and we can get that going, and you guys can continue to support the channel. So that is Ninja, and unfortunately, like I've explained in the special care video, her enclosure has to be completely plain because anything that she can climb on at all, even if it's half an inch tall, she can flip herself over on it. And I always, even now, have to monitor her because she can even get up on the tank in the corners and she'll flip herself over on her back and she can't get back over. And if she does that in the hot spot, it could be very bad if she gets too hot and can't get out of that area. So I have to keep her tank at this point until she gets bigger, completely bare of any kind of obstacles or things that she could flip over with. Okay, you guys, this is another one of my special needs adopted dragons. This is Stevie Ray, and Stevie Ray is completely blind, and unfortunately Stevie Ray has a really hard time finding and locating his food. I have multiple dishes inside of his container, but you can check this guy out more on my video on my channel about the special needs dragons, and he obviously knows I'm talking about him. This guy loves to be handled, but he's definitely a little skinny when I got him, and you can see his little hip bones back there. And I've been weighing him, monitoring him. He is putting on a little bit of weight, but Stevie Ray is having to be assist fed right now. I literally have to take tongs and open Stevie Ray's mouth and put the food in Stevie Ray's mouth. And he's named Stevie Ray after Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, two famous blind musicians, obviously, but Stevie Ray is 100% completely blind, but he is an awesome dragon, and we're going to make sure he can thrive, and he already knows his name, and he knows I'm talking about him. This guy's an awesome dragon, and he is really going to do well here in the rescue, I'm pretty sure. So you guys, pull for Stevie Ray, give him lots of prayers, him and Ninja, and just lots of good vibes that these guys continue to thrive. But that's Stevie Ray, and this is Stevie Ray's enclosure. Okay, this is the enclosure for 3 of my crested geckos. This is where Tyrion, Sansa, and Arya all live. Little Game of Thrones trifecta there. And right here hanging out, literally hanging out, is Tyrion. This is my male crested gecko that is in here with the females doing his thing. They are currently breeding right now. And this up here in the corner, we're gonna grab her, and she's a super docile female. But this is Sansa. She is my big breeder female that is gonna be laying some eggs here very, very soon. And Sansa got a little food on her there. But Sansa is a big, huge, beautiful girl, and we're gonna let her back in there. There she goes. And over here, hiding out, we have one of my prettiest female crested geckos. She is a breeder as well, and I know her and Tyrion. Whoa, let go there, are you? I know her and Tyrion have bred, so she should have eggs soon as well. And like I said, this is Arya, and she got obviously part of her tail bit off by one of her siblings when she was a baby. But Arya is a beautiful crested gecko, and she'll be laying eggs soon, and those will be posted on the website. Can you get back in there, baby girl? She has an amazingly beautiful wide triangular shaped head and really beautiful pinstripes, and when she's fired up, she has an amazing pattern. But that is Arya, Sansa, and Tyrion, and that is their enclosure. Okay guys, this enclosure houses my 2 wild-caught tokay geckos, and one of them, Maddie, and she is incredibly beautiful looking right now. She is up here in her basking spot, and you can see her beautiful colors there on her tail, the beautiful Carolina blue and orange, and I know it's kind of in the shadow though, so you can't really see her colors. But one of the tokays is actually hiding out down here inside the cork log. You can't see the head, but yeah, there you go. You can see the tail of the male tokay gecko is up inside of the cork log there. But these guys love the cork logs, and Maddie just took a fly off there back into her hiding spot, and she is gravid and should be laying eggs any day now, and we should have some tokay gecko babies that hopefully will be able to be hand tamed and will be a lot nicer than mom and dad. Okay, now this enclosure, please excuse the reflection, houses Elvira, and she is one of my crested geckos. She is a Halloween crested gecko, and she's fired down, really fired down right now, so you can see how light she is and her amazing pattern and her pinstripes there. She is a tricolored as well, and hopefully Elvira is going to be one of my breeders in the future. But that is Miss Elvira, and that is her enclosure. And here, divided by a piece of plexiglass, I used a 10-gallon tank and divided this tank with a piece of plexiglass. But this is Snoozy, another one of my crested geckos that's going to be a breeder in the future. Dalmatian, beautiful flame, got the partial kind of splotched pinstripes there. Amazing little guy or girl. I haven't been able to sex it yet. But this is Snoozy, another one of my crested geckos, and this is Snoozy's enclosure. And like I said, this is a 10-gallon that I've divided with a piece of plexiglass to make it into, or excuse me, a 20-gallon, and so I made it into 2 10-gallon vertical tanks. And this, guys, is Hopper, my little green tree frog. And Hopper is an amazing little creature. She is so vicious when she hunts her little crickets. But this is Hopper, my green tree frog, and this is Hopper's little enclosure. And that's my PVC piping in the back that goes to my fogger systems. Please excuse that as well. I don't have a background on little Hopper's tank. Okay guys, this is Cheech, my albino, I do believe, leopard gecko. And if you guys know anything about morphs, please comment in the section below or hit me up on Instagram, because I'm not really sure what morphs this guy has. But this is Cheech, and he's going to go back behind the foliage there and try to be a little punk and not get seen on camera. But that is Mr. Cheech, and I'm sure he's trying to go back into his warm little hide. But that's Cheech, and that is Mr. Cheech's enclosure. Okay, I doubt I'll be able to get this little guy in focus, and he's so fast that I'm definitely not going to be able to handle him, but this is my Cuban brown anole, and I've named this little dude Dora the Explorer because look at the beautiful pattern on the back right there. But she actually was a rescue that accompanied someone home from Florida in their luggage. So she definitely has made a long, strange trip and ended up here in North Carolina in someone's luggage. And when they went to unpack, she ran out and ran up their arm, and luckily they caught her before she ran into some little crevice and was gone forever out in the wild to fend for herself. So as you can see, those beautiful diamond patterns continue all the way down her tail there. Or him, I'm not quite sure yet. But I have named this little girl Dora the Explorer. And like I said, she came here from Florida in a suitcase. But that is Dora, and that is Dora's enclosure. And just because this is kind of a part of the reptile room, but here in my closet, I do have a pretty large dubia roach colony, and I throw my scraps from my dragon vegetables and guinea pig vegetables in here for the roaches. And I'm going to leave this alone for another 4 or 5 months, and hopefully I will have plenty of feeders for a lot of my reptiles. But this is my dubia roach colony. And this amazing GT Cross Leachianus gecko is Shrek, my male Leachianus gecko, who I plan to be breeding in the future with the female Leachianus I have, which you guys will be meeting in a minute. But Shrek is an amazing specimen, and this is Mr. Shrek's little temporary enclosure for now. Which it says Fiona right there because I'm swapping these guys back and forth between enclosures, so that will encourage them to get used to each other's scent and hopefully facilitate the breeding in the future. Now this beautiful little girl here is my female Leachianus gecko, and this is Fiona, who I will be breeding with Shrek, hopefully, if these guys are a compatible pairing in the future, because Leachianus geckos do not always get along. But like I said, I'm swapping them back and forth from enclosures, and the enclosure that they're going to be housed in the future has a wall to divide them when I introduce them to each other, and then in the future I can take out that wall and let them actually interact. So hopefully they'll have a good introduction. But that is Fiona, my female Leachianus gecko, and this is her little temporary enclosure. Now this little girl is all fired up right now, and she's already made a mess in her little enclosure, and I just gave her food and cleaned it up last night. But this is Peaches, and she is an orange blotch gargoyle gecko, and I do plan to breed her in the future. I am currently looking for a male to pair her with, and she is one of my personal pets, as well as the Leachianus geckos, and she is super, super active, beautiful little girl, and this is her enclosure. And this little guy or girl is Armani. I named it after the awesome, ridiculous pinstripes on this guy or girl. She has the drippy morph, as well as some spikes there on the side, the harlequin pattern, beautiful patterning there on the head, and the Dalmatian gene. So this is an incredible crested gecko, a lot of different little morphs in her or him, and this will probably be one of my breeders in the future. And this little guy or girl is one of my personal pets. And this is Armani's little temporary enclosure. And this little awesome gecko is Blaze. I do believe this is a flame, and he has incredible markings there on his head. And Blaze has beautiful harlequin pattern, tricolor, and also drippy morph. And this guy is going to be a breeder for me in the future, I hope. And this is also one of my personal pets. And this is Blaze. And this is Blaze's little temporary enclosure. And I don't know if you guys have noticed in the other enclosures, but I put about 3 little cups in all of my juvenile crested gecko enclosures, so they have multiple places to find food. And he just gymnastic acrobatic move right in there. And I'm going to include a picture later so you guys can see just how much crested gecko food I have to prepare when it's gecko food night, which is every other night here at the Reptile Room. And this is Blaze's little enclosure. Now this beautiful little crested gecko with the white lips, the incredible harlequin pattern, sorry the camera got out of focus there, also has the drippy morph. I believe this guy also has some Dalmatian spots, flame, some pinstriping. This is just a beautiful, beautiful little crested gecko, and this is Jordan. And this is Jordan's little temporary enclosure. What a beautiful little gecko. Okay guys, in this enclosure I have an American toad, which is kind of a rescue because this guy was always outside of my door, and multiple times when I stepped out at night I almost stepped on this guy and crushed him. So I ended up adopting him just to save me from stepping on him. But this guy is adorable, and he sits here in his little hole, and when I feed him crickets, he doesn't even chase after them. He just sits there and waits for the crickets to come close enough, and then he chomps on them. But this is Dumbledore, my American toad, and he is such an amazing little guy. He just sits in his little burrow that he creates in the dirt, and he doesn't even chase the crickets. He just waits until they wander close enough to him, and then when he does eat them, he kind of uses his front little legs there to shovel them into his mouth. Instead of just using his mouth, he actually uses his front little legs to shovel them in there. So this is Dumbledore, my American toad, and we're gonna set him back down in here. Go ahead, Dumbledore, and give him his little log home back. And this is Dumbledore's enclosure with his nice little pond and his log that he loves to hide under. Okay guys, once again, this is Dragon Whisperer. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy seeing all the new animals in the room. Hope you guys will stay tuned for more videos as I post in the future. Don't forget to smash that like button, ring that notification bell, subscribe if you haven't already. Once again, a super, super, super big thank you to everybody who's came over from Clint's Reptiles. Thank you for all your support. Please help me continue to share and spread the channel. Awesome, big, wonderful thank you to Clint himself. The man is a rock star. Hope you guys will check his channel out. Thank you guys so much. And I'm going to be putting my website up here in the corner like I usually do if you're interested in adding anything new to your collection. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to do so below, or hit me up on my Instagram that I'll be putting down here in the bottom. Hope to see you guys in the future. This is Dragon Whisperer, and I'm out.